Mirachin wiped sweat from her brow as the lunch rush finally slowed at her food truck. Fusion bites. The summer heat in Seattle was unusually intense, making the cramped space feel like an oven. Still, she smiled. Today's new recipe, a mushroom and plant-based burger with her secret umami sauce, had sold out. Completely, one classic beef burger. "Please," called the next customer. Mira looked up and nearly dropped her spatula. Standing before her food truck window was the strangest woman she'd ever seen. Her skin was a soft, lavender purple that seemed to shimmer slightly in the sunlight. Her hair fell in silver waves to her shoulders, and her eyes were an intense violet that seemed to glow with curiosity. Sure." Coming right up, Mira managed, trying not to stare. Seattle attracted all types, but this was beyond even the usual colorful street festival crowd. Maybe an elaborate cosplay? The purple woman, if that's what she was, watched with fascination as Myra prepared the burger. "This is a traditional Earth's meal, correct? I've been studying your nutrition patterns." Mira laughed nervously. "Well, not traditional exactly. More like fast food, but yeah, pretty typical American fare." "Fascinating. I'm Lunara, by the way. I'm here to study human culture." She spoke perfectly, but with an accent Myra couldn't place. "Myra Chen, nice to meet you." She handed over the burger. "That'll be $8.50. Lunara fumbled with some bills, clearly unfamiliar with the currency, before handing over a 20. As Mira made change, the strange woman watched her intently. "You should try it while it's hot," Mira suggested, nodding toward the burger. Lunara sniffed it cautiously. "You consume this regularly?" "Not every day, but yeah. It's good protein." Mira took a bite of her own mushroom burger. Demonstrating what happened next was pure chaos. Lunara's violet eyes widened in horror. She dropped the burger, backing away from the food truck. You're eating flesh? Animal tissue. Are humans cannibals?" "What?" "No." Mira nearly choked on her bite. "It's beef. From cows. Not people." But Lunara was already backing further away, her purple skin paling to a lighter lavender. "Your species consumes the flesh of other sentient beings. This is barbaric." People in the food truck line were staring now, some filming with their phones. "They're not sentient. They're just animals." Mira called, but Lunara was already running down the street, her silver hair streaming behind her. "I need to report this immediately." Lunara shouted back. "Humans eat other living creatures." Mira stood frozen, burger in hand, as whispers spread through the crowd. Later that evening, when men in dark suits showed up at her apartment door, Myra realized her strange customer hadn't been wearing cosplay after all. "Ms. Chen? I'm Agent Parker with the Bureau of Extraterrestrial Relations. We need to discuss your interaction with a certain purple visitor today. You've caused quite the interplanetary incident." Myra's mushroom burger suddenly felt very heavy in her stomach. "The Felorians are threatening to cancel diplomatic relations," Parker continued grimly, "and you've been selected to fix it." "This is ridiculous," Mira muttered, as Agent Parker drove her to the secured facility outside the city. "How was I supposed to know she was an actual alien? And why me?" "I'm just a food truck owner." "That's precisely why," Parker replied, his sunglasses reflecting the morning light. "The Felorians requested someone ordinary who could explain human dietary habits. You're non-threatening, run a successful food business, and already made first contact." The facility turned out to be a converted mansion with extensive grounds, perfect for housing alien diplomats away from prying eyes. As they walked through the security checkpoint, Parker briefed her. "Lunara is a junior anthropologist. Her people are strict herbivores, with a deeply spiritual connection to all life forms. Eating animal products is taboo in their culture." "Great," Myra sighed. "I traumatized the alien with a hamburger." "Exactly. Your job is to explain our culture and repair this misunderstanding before her report reaches Feloria. You'll be staying here for 2 weeks as her cultural guide." Before Mira could protest further, they entered a sunlit atrium where Lunara stood examining an earth fern. Her purple skin seemed to catch the light differently indoors, almost glowing softly. "The human has arrived," announced an older Felorian with streaks of indigo in his silver hair. "I am Ambassador Zenith. You will teach Lunara about your eating habits." He said the last words with poorly disguised disgust. After the ambassador departed, Mira and Lunara were left alone in uncomfortable silence. "So, double quotes," Mira began awkwardly. "I guess I should start by saying humans aren't cannibals, yet you consume the flesh of other creatures," Lunara countered, her violet eyes intense. "On Feloria, all life is sacred. Look, I understand how it must have seemed, but human biology requires certain proteins, though honestly, I mostly make plant-based alternatives at my truck." Lunara's expression softened slightly. "The mushroom variation you were consuming?" "Exactly. I'm actually pretty famous for my veggie options." For the first time, Lunara looked interested rather than horrified. "Perhaps I misinterpreted some aspects of human cuisine." Over the next few days, Myra taught Lunara about Earth's culinary diversity, focusing on plant-based traditions. They cooked together in the facility's kitchen, preparing dishes from cultures around the world. "These Vietnamese spring rolls contain no animal products?" Lunara asked, delicately wrapping rice paper around colorful vegetables. "None. Many Earth cultures have centuries-old vegetarian traditions as they worked side by side." Mira found herself fascinated by Lunara's questions and perspectives. The alien's childlike wonder at simple things like ripening fruit or rising bread dough was endearing. "Your planet is beautiful," Lunara admitted one evening as they watched the sunset from the mansion's balcony. "So diverse and contradictory, just like its people," Mira replied with a smile. "We're not perfect, but we're trying to be better." When Lunara's hand briefly touched hers on the railing, Mira felt an unexpected tingle race up her arm. Their eyes met, and for a moment, the gap between their worlds didn't seem so vast after all. By the beginning of the second week, Mira had to admit she was enjoying Lunara's company far more than expected. The alien's perspective made Mira see her own world differently, both its flaws and its wonders. "These are called strawberries," Mira explained. Placing the small red fruits on a plate between them, they sat cross-legged on a blanket in the mansion's garden. Having an Earth-style picnic, Lunara picked one up carefully, examining it. "The seeds are on the outside." "Fascinating. Try it," Mira encouraged. When Lunara bit into the strawberry, her violet eyes widened with pleasure. A soft purplish blush spread across her cheeks as juice stained her lips. "This is extraordinary," she whispered. Mira found herself staring at those purple lips longer than appropriate. She quickly looked away, confused by her reaction. There are many more fruits to try. Earth has thousands of varieties. On Feloria, we cultivate only what we need. Our connection to plants is spiritual rather than sensual. Lunara's voice had dropped to a lower register. "You humans experience everything so... intensely." The air between them seemed to thicken. Mira cleared her throat. "Speaking of experiencing things, would you like to go into the city today? You can't understand humans just from this facility." Agent Parker reluctantly approved a carefully planned excursion. Disguised with a hat and sunglasses, Lunara could pass for an eccentric human with unusual fashion choices and body paint. They visited a farmer's market, where Lunara marveled at the variety of produce. They walked through a park where children played and dogs chased frisbees. At every turn, Myra explained context and customs. "Humans form bonds with animals?" Lunara asked, watching a woman cuddle her puppy. "Yet you consume others?" "The contradiction is puzzling." "We're full of contradictions," Mira admitted. "It's what makes us human." As evening approached, rain began to fall, a gentle Seattle drizzle. Lunara tilted her face upward, letting droplets speckle her purple skin. Water falling freely from the sky, she murmured, "On my world, water is carefully conserved and distributed." Without thinking, Mira reached out to brush a raindrop from Lunara's cheek. The moment her fingers touched that soft purple skin, an electric current seemed to pass between them. Lunara's eyes darkened to deep violet, and her skin emitted a faint glow. What was that? Mira whispered, not pulling her hand away. Felorian biochemistry, Lunara explained softly. Respond physically to emotional stimuli. You're glowing. Yes, Lunara looked embarrassed, but didn't step back. It happens when we experience strong emotions. Their faces were inches apart now, sheltered under the awning of a closed shop. Mira found herself drawn to this beautiful, strange being who saw her world with such fresh eyes. Lunara, she began, I think I'm there you are. Agent Parker's voice cut through the moment like a knife. Ambassador Zenith has arrived for a surprise inspection. We need to return to the facility immediately. The spell broken, they stepped apart. But as they rode back in silence, the tension between them remained unaddressed but undeniable. Ambassador Zenith's unexpected arrival sent the facility into chaos. Staff scurried to prepare reports while Mira and Lunara were whisked from the car directly to the main conference room. The ambassador's indigo-streaked hair seemed more pronounced against his darkened purple skin, a sign of displeasure in Felorian physiology. As Lunara had explained, unauthorized excursion, Zenith stated coldly, reading from a tablet. Consumption of local cuisine without proper analysis. Extended periods of unsupervised contact, his violet eyes fixed on Myra. And, this human has been influencing your research methodology? Lunara straightened her posture. With respect, Ambassador, direct observation is essential to cultural understanding. Mira has been an excellent guide. Indeed, his tone dripped with skepticism. Your preliminary reports suggest a concerning shift in perspective. You were sent to assess whether humans are suitable for galactic alliance, not to become enamored with their primitive customs. Myra's face flushed. Primitive. We may not have interstellar travel. Our culture has depth and diversity. Your reports couldn't possibly. The human speaks out of turn. Zenith interrupted, his skin darkening further. This confirms my suspicions. Contact has been too intimate. Emotional contamination has occurred. Parker stepped forward. Ambassador, I assure you all protocols were followed, except they weren't, Zenith countered. Producing surveillance images of Mira and Lunara in the rain, faces close together. Physical contact. Emotional response indicators. These are serious breaches. Lunara's skin began to glow faintly, betraying her emotions despite her composed expression. My research methods are my own, Ambassador. The High Council approved my proposal for immersive fieldwork. The Council did not approve personal entanglements with research subjects. Zenith turned to his aides. Prepare for departure. We leave Earth in 48 hours. Then to Lunara. You will submit to cognitive recalibration upon return. Your findings are clearly compromised. After they departed, Mira turned to Lunara in the suddenly empty conference room. Cognitive recalibration? That sounds ominous. It's a procedure to remove emotional attachments that might cloud scientific judgment, Lunara explained quietly. My memories of Earth would remain, but any personal connections would be ... neutralized. The weight of those words hung between them. They would make you forget. Us, not forget. Just no longer care. Lunara's voice cracked slightly. I would remember facts, not feelings. Mira stepped closer, taking Lunara's hands. Is that what you want? The purple alien's skin brightened at the contact. No, my people believe in universal connection, yet deny the very connections we form as individuals. The contradiction has always troubled me. More contradictions, Myra said with a sad smile. Maybe our species aren't so different after all. Lunara's glow intensified. Perhaps that's what frightens them most. That night, after the facility had grown quiet, Mira slipped from her guest quarters to Lunara's room. The Felorian sat by the window, starlight reflecting off her lavender skin. I couldn't sleep, Mira explained. Nor could I, Lunara admitted. Tomorrow, I must prepare my final report. It will determine not just my fate, but potentially relations between our worlds. Mira sat beside her. What will you write? The truth. That humans are complex, contradictory, capable of both destruction and extraordinary compassion. She turned to face Mira. that in just 2 weeks, one human taught me more about connection than a lifetime on Feloria. When their lips finally met, Lunara's skin illuminated the entire room with a soft purple glow, bathing them in light that seemed to come from within. Dawn found them still together, talking through the night about possibilities and impossibilities, about worlds apart, yet somehow connected. Lunara's skin had maintained a subtle glow throughout, pulsing gently with her emotions. "I have to finish my report," she said finally, as sunlight began to stream through the windows. "And you need to help me? Me? What can I do?" "Show them what I've seen. The beauty in human contradiction. The way you protect some species while consuming others isn't simple hypocrisy, it's the complex reality of a species, evolving toward greater compassion while balancing biological needs." Together, they crafted a presentation unlike any the Felorian Council would have seen, combining Lunara's scientific observations with Mira's lived experience. They gathered food samples, music, art, and literature that showcased humanity's relationship with their world. When Ambassador Zenith arrived to review the final submission, his skepticism was evident. "You have 20 minutes to present your findings, after which we depart." The presentation began formally enough, with Lunara describing human biology and dietary requirements. But then she shifted to something unexpected. "Humans categorize life differently than we do," she explained, displaying images Mira had helped her collect. "They form deep bonds with companion animals, designate protected species, and create reserves for wildlife even as they consume other animals. Selective empathy," Zenith dismissed. "Inconsistent ethics, or evidence of evolution," Lunara countered. "Their history shows expanding circles of compassion. Many humans now choose plant-based diets despite not having our biological imperatives to do so. They change through choice, not necessity." Mira stepped forward with a tray of carefully prepared samples vegetarian dishes from cultures worldwide. "Ambassador," she said respectfully, "before judging us for what we have been, perhaps consider what we're becoming." Zenith hesitated, but accepted a small morsel of spiced vegetable curry. His expression remained neutral, but his skin lightened slightly. "Interesting," he conceded. "But sensory experience doesn't address the ethical question, doesn't it?" Lunara challenged. "Felorians believe in universal connection, yet we isolate ourselves from other species. Humans struggle with contradictions, but they face them openly. Their messinesses isn't weakness, it's growth." The ambassador studied her. "You've changed, researcher Lunara." "I've learned," she corrected. "Isn't that the purpose of research?" Later, as the Felorian ship prepared for departure, Mira and Lunara stood apart from the others, saying goodbye. "The Council will take months to review everything," Lunara explained. "But Ambassador Zenith has approved an extended research mission, meaning I can stay. Continue my work." Lunara's skin brightened. "With you, if you're willing to keep teaching me about humanity?" Mira smiled, blinking back tears. "There's so much more to show you. Foods from every culture, music, art, ... and I have much to teach you about Feloria. Perhaps someday you could visit my world. I'd like that." Mira reached for Lunara's hand, no longer concerned about who might see. "Though maybe we skip the cognitive recalibration." Lunara laughed, the sound like chimes in the wind. "Some connections should remain uncalibrated." As they walked back toward the facility, purple hand and human one, Agent Parker smiled slightly behind his sunglasses. His report would certainly make interesting reading at headquarters. First contact successful. Diplomatic relations established. Method: hamburger misunderstanding. In the months that followed, more Felorians would visit Earth, and a few adventurous humans would journey to Feloria. Cultural exchange programs would flourish, with Mira's food truck becoming an unofficial embassy of sorts, the first place where many visiting aliens experienced the diversity of Earth's cuisine. And it all began because an alien watched a human bite into a burger and mistakenly thought humans were cannibals.